Welcome to the Kingdom Corner. I'm Andrew, and with me is my good friend, Mr. Dale Baker. How are we feeling on this victory? I mean, we're here on Tuesday, even though it's not
Yeah.
Monday, but let's just go ahead and call it Victory Tuesday still.
Yeah, doing good. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, huh?
That's what they say. But this time
Welcome back. Welcome back.
this time we're bringing back a win with us, though. So everything, I guess, doesn't stay in Vegas.
There you go. Yeah,
So
just
Chiefs
prove that
bringing back a
wrong.
big win. That's right. All right. Well, hey, today we're going to be looking at some of these trades that are happening. So we're
Man.
a day later, but we get to talk about the Josh Uche, if I'm saying his name correctly,
Man,
I
that's pretty
believe.
good.
Going to talk about that trade, maybe some other potential trades that, maybe some positions we should target, recapping the Raiders game.
Yeah.
Looking forward to all the other things coming up, too. So all that and more is coming up. So come and hang out with us.
Mahomes looks to throw it. Pump faking right side. He wants it. A comeback cut. It is caught by Kelsey. Touchdown! Kansas City. The game is over. The Kansas City Chiefs are champions.
How about those Chiefs?
All right, Dale. So the Chiefs come to Las Vegas to Arrowhead West, Allegiant Stadium, and come out with another win. I mean, it's a good day to be a Chiefs fan.
Man, who would have thought 7-0? I mean, to think like Patrick Mahomes has never been 6-0. He's never been 7-0, and here he is 7-0. And with all his accomplishments and everything he's done, I mean, just to think just to look at it and to see as a full team, special teams, defense, and offense is just seems like it's gonna get right. I mean, Andy Reid and Pat is going to figure it out by the end of the season, right?
I mean, I sure hope so.
Well,
but you got to
yeah.
think they're going to. It's the best coach in the league with the best quarterback in the league. So the question is, can they bring all the other guys along with them as they figure it out? So
exactly.
But I think they're trending in the right direction.
Yes, they are.
Talk about a lot too. But hey, let's start about this. So it seems like the Chiefs are trading a lot of for a lot of players. At least they got two already. Just after the preseason and after training camp, they've added Kareem Hunt, they've added Juju, they've added Deandre Hopkins now, and now they've added Josh Uche. I mean, four guys that have all contributed in significant ways already. I mean,
now was Jody Forsett, was he on the team somewhere, or did they added him? Didn't they?
Oh, that's correct. They did add him too. I forgot about him.
So they added him. I mean, they just added a bunch of players, which is wild. Which I can't remember the last time in the NFL where these, and it's not just the Chiefs, it's other teams as well, but where we've seen so much activity after the season starts, right? Usually it all happens in the offseason, and it's like, okay, this is who we are, and we're not going to give up, or we're not going to, do any of that. We'll do it in the offseason. But it seems like younger GMs have just really changed the game for the better, because it's exciting and it kind of keeps you engaged with football.
I don't know about you. I didn't need any help.
Well, I mean, not that I was about to say, not that it was hard for us to be engaged, but it just keeps all the average fan, if you will, engaged on what's going on, what's happening. So
yeah, maybe so. Hey, but either way, Brett Veach has been always on the prowl for any player he can pick up. I mean, like we talked about in our previous episode, we've picked up a player every year that we've won the Super Bowl, right? Made some moves there. And so I picked up Josh Uche this week, just yesterday came through. So a linebacker from the New England Patriots, but even though he's listed as a linebacker, he's more of a pass rusher. So just based on their system, he's listed as a linebacker. But what do you think about that trade?
Yeah, a lot of people. I mean, I'm fine with it, especially if he can help out. I don't know a lot about him, and so I'll have to do some more research on how where he went to school, where he plays, and watch some highlights of that. But I think giving up a 6th round, not even this year, for next year, is a pretty good deal.
Yeah, well, I'll give you just a few quick things about him.
All right,
and for those, haven't dove deep into him yet, but just a few things we know. He went to college at Michigan.
Okay.
He's 26 years old, just turned 26 a few weeks ago, as a matter of fact. So
happy belated birthday.
That's right. Happy belated birthday. So young 26, he was drafted in the 2nd round, 60th overall in the 2020 draft by the New England Patriots. Here it goes. His pronunciation is Uche. So
Uche.
Josh Uche.
Okay.
Glad we got the pronunciation now, so we don't want to offend him by any means. So Josh Uche, glad to have him. So in his very young career, which is not many, he has 20 and a half sacks, 58 solo tackles and 2 forced fumbles. This year alone, he has 2 sacks and 10 solo tackles. So I heard a clip from Bill Belichick just on the radio just earlier. And Bill Belichick, the former coach and GM of the New England Patriots, is the guy who drafted Josh Uche. And so he was saying, and I was like, well, they just gave a 2025 6th-round pick, right? And the host was with us. No, it's a 2026, not 2025. And Bill Belichick goes, oh, well, they basically got him for nothing then. So, like, Bill Belichick was shocked that they would give him up for so little. And he basically said, he's not a huge guy. He's only 240 pounds, 6'1". So not necessarily what you would think of as your typical pass rusher. But Bill Belichick even said, he said, you're going to be surprised at how much power he generates for his size. He said he is a great first step. So just for reference, for those wondering, like George Karlaftis, who plays on the other side, his numbers, he's 6'4", 263 pounds. So that's more so what you would think as a pass rusher. And so Josh Uche is 20, 30 pounds lighter than him and shorter as well. So just not saying anything bad about Josh Uche, just different in size. But Bill Belichick also said if he can get to Kansas City, it's going to be a great situation for him. Because right now in New England, they're behind in so many games that they're not in a lot of pass rushing situations. Yeah. So you get him in a situation where he can actually focus on just rushing the passer. And what do you know? He might just look real good. So right. So I'm not expecting him to necessarily come in and be a starter, especially with Charles Omenihu come back, and hopefully we'll get Mike Dana back before too long as well. But I think he's going to be more of the situational kind of passer rusher because his run defense is not his strength. Not saying he can't do it, but it's just not his strength. Yeah. And so in obvious pass rush situations, they'll probably see him in a lot more.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. I feel like, the Chiefs organization doesn't just bring in guys just on a whim. They kind of have an idea. And I'm sure they've thrown some tape out there to Spags and figure like, hey, what do you think about this guy? Would you be okay if we grabbed him? I think there's a good relationship there in the Chiefs organization to be like, hey, is this guy going to help us or is he going to hurt us or is it just going to be, nothing? And so I think, very excited for him and to see him on the field because especially if he can just pin his ears back and go, that's his specialty. Let him do it, let him go. So, yeah. Well,
and on the cap salary side, we talked before how the Chiefs don't have a lot of room.
Right.
And we said sometimes players will do something in season, but it's not super common, but it does happen. Right. And so this past week, Jawan Taylor restructured his contract and opened up more cap space.
Yeah.
And so I think they moved up to like $6 million in cap space now. And Josh Uche, his contract for this year is only about $1 million. So it's a very small hit on the cap, which means the Chiefs still have potentially around $5 million in cap space.
So are you saying Brett Veach isn't done? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying I don't think he's done. I'm not saying he's going to for sure make a move, but I think he's going to try to make a move.
Yeah.
But to finish up Josh Uche here, his best year is just a couple years ago in 2022. He had 11 and a half sacks that year with 9 tackles for a loss. So he has a lot of potential. And so we'll see what that comes out to be. But hopefully lots and lots of good things for the Chiefs. So where do you think the Chiefs need the most help with? Like what position group?
Oh, yeah, the corner.
Yeah. Hey, I feel like somebody on this podcast mentioned corner was the position they probably needed to look at the most.
Right.
And it's not someone on that side of the screen, somebody on this side of the screen.
Oh, man. I feel like I said that too. I feel like I was in agreement with you. I feel like, we were corners because I think your pass rush only works if you can cover. If your guys aren't covered, if they can get the ball out quick. I mean, so I think like corner, you have to be like give them 3 seconds, right? We're not asking corners to go cover for 7 or 8 seconds. Sometimes they do, and they do a really great job at it, but it's just not sustainable to do that. So we need a quick corner that can cover for 3 seconds and then let the pass rush get there. Let Chris Jones, let Uche, and let Karlaftis just eat.
if you have to cover for more than 5 seconds, you're going to get beat.
Oh yeah,
It doesn't matter how good you are.
right.
Really good corners are going to cover for 5, maybe stretch it to 6 seconds, but
Yeah,
and that's only the elite ones too. Only the
right.
elite.
Yeah,
And so your average cornerback, safety, whoever's in coverage, 4 to 5 seconds is about their limit. They're not going to be able to, and not because they're not good, but because you get anybody just running circles in any direction, and you're trying to guess which way they're going and what to do. There's only so long you can do that for before they're going to get you.
Yeah.
And so, I think corner is the one to look at. Jalen Watson, his injury, I think, is a lot bigger than people realize.
Yeah,
and we talked about that last episode too. Is this injury is not just a no name injury. It's going to be have a big impact on the Chiefs this year.
Right.
And people don't realize how well he is playing. And you pointed out before the last episode that because we hadn't heard his name called a lot, it proved how well he is playing.
Yeah.
So to your credit,
Yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Hey, give him credit where credit is due, my friend.
There you go. So I think it'll be interesting. So we'll see if they'll try to get a veteran corner that they can rent for a year, maybe on some of these bad teams. I mean, Snead's playing on a terrible team. We'll bring him back. No,
can't afford him.
No, we can't. Not after the deal he got at Tennessee. So I just think we just need someone. Yeah. Well, and Spags is smart, and that defense is smart, and they'll figure it out.
Yeah. Well, and I'll say this too. Brett Veach, he's going to be trying to make moves, but he's not going to make a move that's going to hurt the team.
Right.
So because he's said before, he doesn't want to give up a first or second day draft pick, which is basically your first 3 rounds.
Right.
But I don't want to give up any of those picks because I want to build for the future. But think about this too. The other reason you can't give up those picks is because of all the high salaries that you have on your team with Mahomes, Kelsey, Chris Jones. They're probably going to be in up. Oh, they paid, Creed Humphrey, right? They're paying Jawan Taylor a lot of money. So Trey Smith, what are they going to do with him? Trip McDuffie, what are they going to do with him? Nick Bolton, all these guys. And so there's a lot of guys here with high salaries. And because of these high salaries, you have to rely on good draft picks to help cover and fill your roster. Otherwise, you're going to be filling your roster with guys who are not very good.
Right.
And have a poor team. And so you got to get good players in those first couple of days of the draft to fill out your roster every year when you have guys with high salaries.
Man. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're going to have a lot of decisions, but also the good news is our window is open right now for the three-peat.
Yeah, that is. So since you bring up the three-peat, let me ask you this question. Would you rather the Chiefs go all in and get a three-peat, which has never been done in NFL history, and probably, I don't want to say will never be done again because we don't know what the future of the NFL holds. Yeah. Maybe they're going to change up a bunch of rules and make it like baseball where you just get to pay for your team and then you can win a lot. But we hope that doesn't go that way because we want every team to be competitive. But if the league stays the way it is, it's unlikely that a team will ever win 3 in a row. And so would you want the Chiefs to go all in for this year to get the three-peat, to be the only team in NFL history to do that?
Yeah.
And so you're guaranteed to win this year, but you don't win any more Super Bowls for at least the next, let's say, 10 to 15 years.
Man, is Mahomes still playing in 10 to 15 years?
Probably not. Probably not. So he'd be like 45 or so. In 10 to 15 years. So, or you can not win this year, not get the three-peat, but then you'd win 2 to 3 more Super Bowls over the next 10 to 15 years.
Oh yeah,
so not a crazy amount, but which one would you rather have?
Yeah, give me now I would raise you if we were to go undefeated and then win the three-peat. Then I would take that over the 2 to 3 in 10 to 15 years, just because being undefeated, 20-0. And then also to have done something like that's like back to back, never been done in NFL history. So yeah. Give me that.
Hey, you know what? You put it that way. Okay, so say you do go undefeated. Let's change the question up a little bit.
All right.
So you do go undefeated. You get the three-peat, but you don't win a Super Bowl for at least the next 20 years.
Whew.
Or over the next 20 years, you can win 4 Super Bowls. Which would you rather have?
Yeah, give me the 4 Super Bowls.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I just think honestly, we've lived through that drought. right?
Oh,
We've lived through that.
yeah.
And it's not
yeah.
fun. Now, if you were to tell me, hey, they're going to be competitive, like that's even worse, right? Even worse to be competitive and just can't get over the hump or can't win it. And so I just don't think, I think we could do the 3-peat and we maybe do a 4-peat. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
Who knows?
I mean, honestly, that'd be hard for me to pick because
Yeah,
a 3-peat with an undefeated season.
yeah, I know.
I don't think that would ever be redone. Even if somebody got to the point of 3-peating again, to do it undefeated is so hard. There's a reason why there's only one team in NFL history, and the last let's see,
was it 72? Yeah,
60 plus
Dolphins.
years.
Yeah,
The 72 Dolphins are the only ones who did it, and it's the only team in 60 plus years that's ever gone undefeated.
right.
So I mean,
probably most of those guys are
honestly.
Yeah,
I might take that. I might take
you might take the undefeated.
I might take the undefeated with the 3-peat because that'd be a team that'd be talked about for the rest of NFL history.
Well, think about your children.
Yeah, and the children talk about the 2024 Chiefs is what they can talk about.
They're just sitting there in
everybody
purgatory.
knows.
They're just sitting in purgatory for 20 years.
Think about this. The average NFL fan, do they know if you say the 72 Dolphins, do they understand what that is?
I don't know. I don't think I've seen some of those reels
not the average watcher, okay, but the one who's like
no,
really
they don't because I've seen some of those reels where they've gone to stadiums and people are wearing a Pat Mahomes jersey and they're like, okay, what college did Patrick go to?
Well,
and they're like, I don't know. And it's like, okay, well, how are you a super fan?
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what though? I'm not talking about the NFL, not college. There's so many.
Well, no, but I mean, the fact that if he's your favorite player, right? You're wearing his jersey. You should know what college he played for, right?
You should.
Okay,
but I'll raise you this.
All right.
Can you tell me all the colleges that your favorite or the best Chiefs players went to?
Oh yeah.
Where'd Chris Jones go?
Chris Jones, Mississippi State.
That is correct. Where did
Travis Kelce, Cincinnati, Pat Mahomes, Texas Tech, Xavier Worthy, Texas. So
Trey Smith.
He was Big Ten, wasn't he? It wasn't.
No, he was not. See, you don't even know.
Well, he's not my favorite player.
We're talking about NFL starters on
he's
your
not.
favorite
He's not
team,
my favorite player.
And you don't even know the college he went to.
He doesn't know. He's not my favorite.
He might not be, but he is an all-pro starter on your favorite team. You don't know what college he went to? You call yourself a Chiefs fan?
Creed Humphrey, Oklahoma.
Trey Smith went to Tennessee, in case you're wondering.
That's the close to the Big Ten. I mean, that is closer to the Big Ten than the SEC. That is closer to the Big. I think we can get to Ohio State before we get to Alabama.
Maybe so.
I don't know.
But my point is, I don't think saying because someone doesn't know a college, that doesn't mean they're an NFL fan. They're an NFL fan, not a college fan. They don't care about them before they come out of college.
I think. Do you think the average fan knows what the 72 Dolphins means? The average fan.
The average fan. Probably not.
Yeah.
Okay, how about this? But do you think most dedicated fans know who the 72 Dolphins
are? Oh, yeah, most dedicated fans, for sure.
But most average fans couldn't tell you who won the Super Bowl last year or the year before.
The Chiefs, Chiefs.
They might be able to tell you last year, but most people the average fan can't tell you anyone beyond who the current Super Bowl champion is. And so the 72 Dolphins is a team that's talked about in NFL circles and among NFL fans for years and years. And when you say the 72 Dolphins, it carries such amount of respect with it. It's just like, man, the 72 Dolphins, one of the greatest teams, if not the greatest team of all time. I mean, they pop champagne bottles after the last undefeated team loses every year because it's never been done before.
Right.
And so, I mean, we're talking about for now 40 years, they've been popping champagne.
Yeah.
No team has ever gone undefeated.
Wow.
One team got close. The Patriots went undefeated and lost the Super Bowl to the Giants, which is fantastic.
Was that the helmet catch? Was that the helmet catch game?
Yeah, that was the helmet catch game.
Can you imagine losing the Super Bowl like that? Anyway, yeah. So I really think the Chiefs are focused. They may be talking about the three-peat, but they're just coming in and going to business, doing work, right? They're doing work, and it's exciting to watch. There's not like a lot of highs and lows. Like the one game I think where you could say they probably should have lost was probably the third game, right? The Cincinnati Bengals. Or was that the second game? Second game. They probably should have lost to the Cincinnati Bengals, but they didn't. And that's what you do. You win. And so I feel like every other game that they've been in, they have just been in control. And Sunday afternoon was not they were in control of the game the entire time. There was never a moment in that game you thought, oh boy, here come the Raiders. We might lose this game. Like even when they're on the goal line stance, like I'm like, well, if they score, they score. I think they would have tied the game at that point, and so it would have been like, all right, well, we still got plenty of time to go down and win this thing.
Yeah. Well, hey, I'll tell you, my emotions in that one sequence of events was crazy because first off, the Raiders score, they kick it off, right? And so the Chiefs, for whatever reason, they decide, you know what, let's run it out of the end zone because that always works. No, it doesn't work, right?
Right.
So it's just... Anyways, but so they decide to run it out, and they only get to like the 15-yard line, but then there's a holding penalty, brings it back to the 8.
Yeah.
And then they go one play, guess what? Holding again. And I'm just sitting there thinking, what are we doing? I mean, just bonehead play after bonehead play. Next play, they finally get a pass off, gain like 9 yards of that back, but guess what? Holding again. Bring it on back. And just play after play, moving backwards. And then finally, Mahomes trying to force it in, trying to will his team to win, will his team out of the back of the end zone, and throws the interception. Just, I mean, not a good look. So I didn't see the replay on it, but it didn't look good from where I was sitting.
I think someone hit his hand, or he hit someone's hand when he was throwing it, kind of nuts, or he hit someone's helmet.
I saw it pop up. I just didn't see how it got popped up. But yeah, anyways, a little bit of unluckiness there too. But either way, they get it. They run it back, get tackled at the 3-yard line, almost get into the end zone. But luckily they stopped them there. And you're just thinking, at least I was sitting there thinking, well, man, at this point, might as well just give them the touchdown from the 3-yard line. What NFL team can't score from first and goal from the 3? And so they run the ball. What do you know? Back them up, right?
That's right.
Back them. Actually, I think they got to the 1 on the first one. So they get a little bit of yards. They stopped them. Like, okay, well, now they're second and goal from the 1. I mean, I don't know. Really stop that. So run it again. Stopped at the 1. Now we're third down, right? What is happening here? Run it again. Stopped at the 5. We're like, oh man, now we're really cooking. Maybe they're at the 3, but I think they're at the 3. And then also 4th down, you're like, can the Chiefs actually do this? Can they actually keep this team from scoring any points?
Yeah.
Because the man over on the other side and the Raiders, who's got the quote recipe. To beat the Chiefs, as he called it. He says he got the recipe to beat Mahomes, and Chiefs decides, you know what? 4th down, we're going for it from our own 3-yard line. We're going to score. And our boy, Tashard Wharton, breaks through the line, tackles him for a loss. Chiefs ball. I mean, what a roller coaster of emotions going through that little sequence right there.
And I was laughing because if you've never watched a game with Andrew Smith, you need to watch a game with Andrew Smith. He is electrifying to sit next to and to watch him just go through everything that's going through his mind. He is not exaggerating when it's highs and lows for this guy.
If I'm low, don't talk to me. Let me just have my space.
Exactly right.
But if I'm high, give me whatever you want.
Give me a vibe. Come on, let's go. We're all friends.
That's right.
Yeah. So, but I mean, like, again, the Chiefs defense shows up in the big game, and in their run defense, which we had been concerned about for years, has been just on lockdown. I mean, even the starting running back for the Raiders, Madison, he had 14 carries. How many yards did he have, Andrew?
Well, I can look it up and tell you, but go ahead and tell me.
15 yards. 14 carries on 15 yards. So, 1 yard. Hey, that's pretty good, right? And so they had a total of 33 yards in the game on
let me give
21
you
attempts. On 21 attempts, they had 33
yeah.
yards. So
Let me give you a little more insight into that
okay.
stat there. So they, like you said, the Chiefs' run defense held the Raiders to 33 yards on 21 carries. So that's a negative 47 yards over the expected rushing for the game. The fourth lowest mark in a game this season. So
Right.
incredible. So the Raiders only gained first down on one play by rushing all game long. And so the Chiefs linebackers Nick Bolton and Drew Tranquil, they each had 2 run stuffs, and the Raiders ball carriers were contacted behind the line of scrimmage on almost 62% of their carries.
Yeah. That's unreal.
I mean, 62% of the time you're getting hit behind the line of scrimmage. That's some good run defense right there.
Yeah.
Incredible.
And so that was Drew Tranquil had a great game against the Raiders. A great game. He was flying around. Yes, everywhere. And so it was really, really good to see him. And yeah, it was, man, a dominant performance by our defense yet again. And so let's just ride on these coattails, right?
That's right. Hey, I'm all about riding that. So defense looks real good. They stepped up, had a great game. But let's talk about the offense a little bit too. So Travis Kelce gets into the end zone finally. And so with that, Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, it was their 52nd career touchdown, breaking a tie with Drew Brees and Jimmy Graham for the 3rd most all-time by the quarterback and tight end duo. So they only trail Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski, and Phillip Rivers and Antonio Gates. So in each of those have 89 and 90 respectively. So they got a little bit to catch up if they want to move up. Either way, 3rd most all-time between quarterback and tight end. So incredible. Hats off to them.
Yeah, and Patrick hit 30,000 yards, youngest player ever.
Yeah.
So I mean, just continue to make records. It feels like every time they get on the field, they do a record, and so that's always really fun to watch.
Oh yeah. So for reference, for those who are wondering, so Patrick Mahomes hit 30,000 yards, right? And so he's in his his 7th season?
4th.
Right.
2018. He's drafted, right?
Well, he was drafted in 2017. I think he got his first start in 2018. So, yeah. So that's
7?
right. Can we do it?
Yeah.
We went to seminary. Math is hard for us.
No, yeah. 2018, 2017, 2018,
this is his 7th year starting.
Yeah.
7th year starting.
8th year in the league.
Yeah, I should have gone with my guy. That's what I said. So,
yeah.
7th year starting, 8th year in the league, 30,000 passing yards. So Lamar Jackson, by contrast, because we're all about contrast here.
Yeah.
See, he came into the league in 2018, so he didn't play every game. Well, he played in every game his rookie year, but he didn't start every game because Joe Flacco was still there. So they split a little bit. So Lamar Jackson has 6 years starting, and his total. So remember, Mahomes 7 years starting. Lamar Jackson 6 years starting. Lamar Jackson has a little under 18,000 career passing yards, and Mahomes just broke 30,000.
Yeah,
basically one more year.
Right.
I mean, that's just to show you the little bit of contrast how incredible
stat
that is. So,
and what would you say the average QB gets yards passing? Like 3,800, 3,500, anywhere somewhere like the average quarterback, not
like per season.
Yeah, per season.
Oh no, the average is.
You think it's higher?
No, it's lower.
You think it's lower?
I think the average is probably somewhere around 2,800
passing yards. Okay, huh?
That'd be. I don't really know, but
yeah,
3,000.
I just know Mahomes got 5,000 1 year, right? And then he's always kind of been around that 42, 43. So I was thinking like, if we go down just a couple more 100 yards, we could see. He's looking it up, folks. We're not going to have to wait.
I am. You're right. So, according to AI, which take for that what you want, over the past 10 seasons, okay, it's a lot higher than I thought.
Okay.
Says 4,000 passing yards per season over the past decade.
Yeah.
So, well, I just been thinking because I've been a fan for so long that used to be you hit 3,000. That was like
right. Yeah, that was a big deal.
You're like, wow, he hit 3,000. Does your kid believe that?
Yeah.
I should have known the offensive have exploded over the past decade, and now they're up. So over the past decade, they average about 4,000 a season. So There you go. Now
There
you
it
know.
is.
Yep. So, all right, but we got to talk about the DeAndre Hopkins debut too, right? So he came in. Uh, he had an impact more so than the stat line is going to show.
Oh yeah.
So he drew defenders certain ways, drew him away from him. But his very first catch as a Chief went for a first down on converting a third down.
Yeah.
And so yeah, another catch in there too. And there's one really big one that Mahomes just missed him. But man,
They'll figure it out.
Great job. Oh yeah,
they will figure it out. So
been here
yeah,
less than a week.
I think Xavier Worthy had a touchdown, and he had the most catches he's had in a game thus far. Travis Kelce looked like the old Travis Kelce with 10 catches, almost 100 yards, and a touchdown. So I mean, that's just. I think it opens things up when you have another threat.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Now, before we get too high on how great the Chiefs' offense is going to be, let's also remember we're playing against the Raiders, who are going to play well because we're playing a division.
Yeah.
But overall, they're not a great team, and that's not to be disrespectful. Maybe a little bit because I don't.
Maybe it is the Raiders. It is the Raiders.
That's right. But let's not think that the Chiefs are all fixed on offense because we beat the Raiders. I mean, the spread was 9.5 points, and we beat them by 7. So we allowed the Raiders to score 20 points. Now, I will say they basically held them to 13 points for the majority of the game.
Yeah.
And that last touchdown that the Raiders got, the Chiefs were playing prevent defense on that. So basically that just means they're trying to keep everything in front of them, no long balls, no big plays. And they're trying to keep them in bounds, tackle them between the boundaries to keep that clock running because the Raiders had 0 timeouts left by that point. And so they're like, let's just run. And so when you play a prevent defense, it does allow the offenses to move just in short chunks, though. And that's exactly what the Raiders did. And so they got to 20 because of the prevent defense. I think if it would have been a closer game, I don't know that the Raiders would have scored again.
Yeah. I think if it was closer, it would have been they would have locked down, and Mike's score would have been pretty close, pretty right on, 28-13.
It would have been
28-10 was my prediction. So
it's
too bad. It's too bad.
Yep. But hey, we got to mention one other thing too that I don't think we talked about. Andy Reid is now tied for the winningest coach in Allegiant Stadium history with 6 wins, tying Josh McDaniel, the old Raiders coach, not the current one, the old one. So, Andy Reid, congratulations on your win to become tied for the most wins at Allegiant Stadium, also known as Arrowhead West. So, congratulations, Andy.
There you go. I wonder is Andy Reid the winningest coach in Arrowhead, or is it Marty?
It's a great question.
Marty was there forever, but Andy Reid's been there a long time. So that would be interesting to know. Is Marty because Marty Schottenheimer had a bunch of like 10 season wins, and so I wonder if Andy Reid's up there. So, and I'm sure AI will tell us, or the Google machine will tell us.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if when you Google it, it brings up a bunch of Allegiant Stadium records because that's the one that. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Andy Reid set the record for now the most wins at Arrowhead. So he passed Marty Schottenheimer when he got 65 just a couple years ago. So he's apparently had it for a while now. So probably just one we forgot. But for a couple years now, Andy Reid is the winningest coach at Arrowhead Stadium. So, okay, last question I got for you here. So, from my opinion, for what I could see, Mahomes looked like he was playing a lot better this game. I think he had one tipped up that was, intercepted, and you can call it however you want if you want to say it's Mahomes' fault or just unlucky or whatever. But Mahomes looked like he is a lot better, a lot more spot on. Just hitting guys this game.
Yeah.
Just looked kind of like the old Mahomes, like we've seen for years.
Yep. I think so. I think you're spot on there where. He's looking more comfortable with the guys. I know he's made a point like, hey, I can't turn the ball over. I can't keep turning the ball over. And so I think he was protecting the ball, even though that one fluke play, if his right tackle would just hold up just a little bit longer, we could have, maybe probably completed a deep pass. But, I think he's playing well. He's kind of locked in, as you will, right? Locked in. And so it's you can kind of tell on the TV he's ready to play and ready to do it. So I have 100 complete confidence in that they'll figure it out, and they'll just if they need. I feel like it's like the Chiefs, like they kind of like, okay, what do we need to win the game? All right, that's what I'll get you, or that's what we'll do.
Yeah.
So you need a fumble by Gardner Minshew. Okay, we'll get a fumble. You need us to stop a goal line stance. All right, we'll stop it. I feel like their situation play is so amazing. Like when they need something, they just get it.
Oh yeah,
Like
absolutely.
it is, which is so much more pressure, like on a team. But it's like, okay, it's like a kid playing with their food, and then it's like, well, you can't have your electronics until you've eaten all your mashed potatoes. And guess what? All the mashed potatoes are gone. Like it's so it's like
and gone quickly. So.
Yes, and gone quickly. So
yeah, absolutely. So one last thing I want to point out too. So there are two things really.
Yeah.
I'll give you a stat first, and I'll talk about the other. So first off, Jawan Taylor's been getting a lot of heat, and rightfully so. He's had some penalties that hurt us in key spots, but let's give him a little bit of credit. So he was matched up against Max Crosby, the Raiders' best pass rusher by far, on the game, and he had 28 pass blocking matchups against him, allowing 0 pressures on those.
Right.
So hats off to Jawan Taylor for his matchup against Max Crosby. He did fantastic against him. But the other thing, real quick, the Chiefs got to figure out something at left tackle because that's going to kill them if they don't figure that out.
Yeah,
so
I don't know.
I don't know if they just need Andy Reid to get in there, and I don't know. I don't know what the answer is because I don't
get Andy Reid suited up. Is that what you're saying? Suit Andy Reid up and have him play left tackle?
No, I meant get him in the offensive line room and say, "Hey guys, we need to have a sit down talk and figure this out because it's not working."
Right.
Because whether you got Wanye Morris in there or Kingsley Sumantua in there, both of them seem to get beat, and it's just when you got good pass rushers, it's just man. It makes
what do you think about like giving halves to guys?
Given
or what? Give Taylor or not Taylor Morris the first half, give Kingsley the second half, and then or maybe you do series and like, okay, who's playing best, or maybe 2 series. But I know it's all about rrhythm and being in there. But it's just like, you gotta like figure out like.
I would be okay switching it up every week.
Okay, just say, because I think Kingsley needs reps.
Yeah, I would.
And he's not getting those live reps.
I would do it by practice and say whoever has the best practice week is getting the rest. But if you're in there and you get beat X amount of times, try the other one,
right?
And just and go with that. I mean, I don't know that's really a good solution either because you don't want guys playing with that kind of pressure on their shoulders. You want them to be able to play freely and loose and all that. But I just think there's not a really good answer for that other than just simply trying to get these guys reps and get them in more game situations. And
unfortunately, I think Morris is good. Not unfortunately, he's not terrible, but like I think Morris is going to be the guy. I think there's something they see on film with Kingsley that he's just not cutting it.
They tried Kingsley and he got beat over and over and over and over again. And when Wanye Morris came in, he played at least a little bit better. And I think at this point, Wanye Morris is better.
Yeah,
I think next year, after Kingsley gets a lot more reps, even just NFL reps outside of the game.
Right.
But I do think if the Chiefs are up enough, they need to get Kingsley in there just for those live reps.
Yeah.
So, but I think it needs to be Wanye Morris until proven otherwise, because I just think Wanye Morris is at this point at least a little bit better, not much, but a little bit better.
Right. So. And so if, maybe we need to blow out some of these teams so we can get him in there into like an NFL game and, take Pat out.
Maybe so.
And put old Carson Wentz, baby.
Hey, well, thanks for joining us in this episode of the Kingdom Corner. We're so glad you're here. Please do us a big favor. Go like, subscribe, share, and leave a review for this podcast. That helps us more than anything else. And so this episode is brought to you by Ohey Threads, and you can find your own super soft t-shirt or hoodie on their website at oheythreads.com. We'll see you next time right here in the Kingdom Corner.